Alright, hello. This is my recording of Act 2 of the Crucible. This one seems to be a lot shorter than Act 1, so hopefully you can get through it a bit quicker. I don't believe there is anything here specifically highlighted for you to take notes on, so yeah, you can just enjoy the reading, and if you want to take notes separately, then that's up to you. Act 2. Elizabeth. What keeps you so late? It's almost dark. I thought you'd gone to Salem this afternoon. Proctor. Why? I have no business in Salem. Elizabeth. Mary Warren's there today. I forbid her go. And she says to me, I must go to Salem, Goody Proctor. I'm an official of the court. Proctor. Court? What court? Elizabeth. It is a proper court they have now. They be 14 people in the jail now, she says. And they'll be tried, and the court have power to hang them, she says. Proctor. They'd never hang. Elizabeth. The deputy governor promises hanging if they'll not confess, John. The town's gone wild, I think. Abigail brings other girls into the court, and if they scream and howl and fall to the floor, the person's clapped in the jail for bewitching them. Proctor. Oh, it is a black mischief. Elizabeth. I think you must go to Salem, John. You must tell them it is a fraud. I think they must be told. Proctor. It is. Elizabeth. Let you go to Ezekiel Cheever. He knows you well, and tell him what she said to you last week in her uncle's house. She said it not to do with witchcraft, did she not? Proctor. She did. Elizabeth. God forbid you keep that from court, John. I think they must be told. Proctor. They must. It is a wonder they do believe her. Elizabeth. I would go to Salem now, John. Let you go tonight. Proctor. I'll think on it. Elizabeth. You cannot keep it, John. Proctor. I know I cannot keep it. I say I will think on it. Elizabeth. Good. Then let you think on it. Proctor. I am only wondering how I may prove what she told me, Elizabeth. If the girl's a saint now, I think it not easy to prove she's a fraud. And the town gone so silly? She told it to me in a room alone. I have no proof for it. Elizabeth. You were alone with her? Proctor. For a moment alone, Elizabeth. Why then? It is not as you told me. Proctor. For a moment, I say. The others come in soon after. Elizabeth. Do as you wish. Proctor. Woman, she turns to him. I'll not have your suspicions. Elizabeth. I have no. Proctor. I'll not have it. Elizabeth. Then let you not earn it. Proctor. You doubt me yet? Elizabeth. John, if it were not Abigail that you must go to hurt, would you falter now? I think not. Proctor. Now look at you. Elizabeth. I see what I see, John. Proctor. You will not judge me more, Elizabeth. I have good reason to think, before I charge fraud on Abigail, I will charge fraud on Abigail, and I will think on it. Let you look to your own improvement before you go judge your husband any more. I have forgot Abigail and Elizabeth. And I, Proctor. Spare me. You forget nothing and forgive nothing. Learn charity, woman. I have gone on tiptoe in this house all 7 months since she is gone. I have not mobbed from there to there without, I think, to please you. And still an everlasting funeral marches around your heart. I cannot speak, but I am doubted, every moment judged for lies, as though I come into a court when I come into this house. Elizabeth. John, you were not open with me. You saw her with a crowd. You said, now you... Proctor. I plead my honesty no more, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. John, I am only... Proctor. No more. I should have roared you down when first you told me your suspicion, but I wilted on it, like a Christian. I confessed. Some dream. I must have mistaken you for God that day, but you're not, and let you remember it. Let you look sometimes for the goodness in me, and judge me not. Elizabeth. I do not judge you. The magistrate sits in your heart that judges you. I never thought you but a good man, John, with a smile, only somewhat bewildered. Proctor. Oh, Elizabeth, your justice would freeze beer. She turns suddenly towards a sound outside. He starts for the door as Mary Warren enters. As soon as he sees her, he goes directly to her and grabs her by the cloak, furious. How do you go to Salem when I forbid it? Do you mock me? Shaking her. I'll whip you if you dare leave this house again. Mary Warren. I am sick. I am sick, Mr. Proctor. Pray, pray, hurt me not. Her strangeness throws him off, and her evident pallor and weakness. He frees her. My insides are all shuddery. I am in proceedings all day, sir. Proctor. And what of these proceedings here? When will you proceed to keep this house as you are paid £9 a year to do, and my wife not wholly well? As though to compensate, Mary Warren goes to Elizabeth with a small rag doll. Mary Warren. I made a gift for you today, Goody Proctor. I had to sit long hours in a chair and pass the time with sewing. Elizabeth. Why, thank you. It's a fair poppet. Mary Warren. We must all love each other now, Goody Proctor. Elizabeth. Aye, indeed we must. Mary Warren. I'll get up early in the morning and clean the house. I must sleep now. She turns and starts off. Proctor. Mary, she halts. Is it true? There be 14 women arrested? Mary Warren. No, sir. There be 39 now. She suddenly breaks off in sobs and sits down exhausted. Elizabeth. Why is she weeping? What ails you, child? Mary Warren. Goody Osborne. We'll hang. There's a short pause while the sobs. Proctor. Hang? He calls into her face. Hang, you say? Mary Warren. Aye. Proctor. The deputy governor will permit it? Mary Warren. He sentenced her. He must, but not Sarah Good, for Sarah Good confessed, you see. Proctor. Confused. To what? Mary Warren. That she, in horror, she sometimes made a compact with Lucifer, and wrote her name in his black book with her blood, and bound herself to torment Christians till God's thrown down, and we must all worship hell furthermore. Proctor. You will not go into court again, Mary Warren. Mary Warren. I must tell you, sir, I will be gone every day now. I'm amazed you do not see the weighty work we do. Proctor. What work you do? It's strange work for a Christian girl to hang old women. Mary Warren. But, Mr. Proctor, they will not hang them if they confess. Sarah Good will only sit in jail sometime. Recalling. And here's a wonder for you, think on this. Goody Good is pregnant. Elizabeth. Pregnant? Are they mad? That woman's near 60. Mary Warren. They had Dr. Griggs examine her, and she's full to the brim, and smoke and pipe all these years, and no husband either, but she's safe, thank God, for they will not hurt the innocent child. But be that not a marvel? You must see it, sir. It's God's work we do, so I'll be gone every day for some time. I'm an official of the court, they say, and she's been edging towards offstage. Proctor. Official? I'll official you. He strides to the mantel, takes down the whip hanging there. He raises the whip and reaches for her. Mary Warren. I saved her life today. Silence. The whip comes down. Elizabeth. I am accused? Mary Warren. Somewhat mentioned, but I said I never seen no sign you ever sent your spirit out to hurt no one. And seeing I do live so closely to you, they dismissed it. Elizabeth. What? Who accused me? Mary Warren. I am bound by law, I cannot tell it. To Proctor. I only hope you will not be so sarcastical no more. 4 judges and the king's deputy sat to dinner with us but an hour ago. I would like you to speak civilly to me now. From this out. Proctor. Go to bed. Mary Warren. I'll not be ordered to bed no more, Mr. Proctor. I am 18 and a woman, however single. Proctor. Do you wish to sit up? Mary Warren. I wish to go to bed. Proctor. Good night, then. Exit Mary Warren. Elizabeth. Oh, the noose. The noose is up. Proctor. There'll be no noose. Elizabeth. She wants me dead. I knew all week it would come to this. Proctor. Without conviction. They dismissed it. You heard her say. Elizabeth. And what of tomorrow? She will cry me out until they take me. Proctor. Sit down. Elizabeth. She wants me dead, John. You know it. Proctor. I say sit down. She sits trembling. She speaks quietly, trying to keep his wits. Now we must be wise, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, with sarcasm, and a sense of being lost. Oh, indeed, indeed, Proctor. Fear nothing. I'll find Ezekiel Cheever. I'll tell him she said it were all sport. He grabs his coat off and hurries to the door. Elizabeth puts her head in her hands, crying. The lights go out. The end. Is it the end of... No, there's a little bit left of Act 2. Sorry. I don't know why it says the end. The end of the scene, not the act. Proctor. Why, Mr. Hale. Good evening to you, sir. Come in, come in. Hale. I have some business with you. I know not if you are aware, but your wife's name is mentioned in the court. Proctor. We know it, sir. Our Mary Warren told us. We are entirely amazed. Hale. In my ignorance, I find it hard to draw a clear opinion of them that come accused before the court. And so this afternoon, and now tonight, I go from house to house. I come now from Rebecca's nurse's house and Elizabeth. Rebecca's charged. You will never believe, I hope, that Rebecca trafficked with the devil. Hale. This is a strange time. No man may no longer doubt the powers of the dark or gathered in monstrous attack upon the village. There is too much evidence now to deny it. You'll agree with this, sir? Elizabeth. I think you must tell him, John. Hale. What's that? I have no witness, and I cannot prove it, except my word be taken. But I know the children's sickness had naught to do with witchcraft. Hale. Naught to do? Proctor. Mr. Parris discovered them sporting around in the woods. They were startled and took sick. Hale. Who told you this? Proctor. Abigail Williams. She told me the day you came, sir. Hale. Why? Why did you keep this? Proctor. I never knew until tonight the world has gone daft with this nonsense. Hale. Nonsense? Minister, I have myself examined Titua, Sarah Good, and numerous others that have confessed to dealings with the devil. They have confessed it. Proctor. And why not, if they must go hang for denying it? They are them that will swear to anything before they'll hang. And have you not ever thought of that? Hale. I have indeed. And you? Would you testify to this in court? Proctor. I had no reckoning with going into the court, but if I must, I will. Enter Danforth. Proctor. Why, Mr. Danforth? Good evening. I hope you come not on business of the court. Danforth. I do, Proctor. I have a warrant for your wife. Proctor. Who charged her? Danforth. Why, Abigail Williams charged her. Proctor. On what proof? What proof? Danforth. Mr. Proctor, I have little time. The court bid me search your house, but I like not to search your house. So will you hand me any puppets that your wife may keep in here? Elizabeth. I have never kept no puppets, not since I were a girl. Danforth. I spy a puppet. Goody Proctor. Now, woman, will you please come with me? Proctor. She will not. Fetch Mary here. Hale. What signifies a puppet to Miss Danforth? Or Mr. Danforth? Danforth. Why, it is a needle. The girl Abigail Williams, sir. She sat to dinner in Reverend Parris's house tonight, and falls to the floor and screamed. And he goes to save her, and stuck 2 inches in the flesh of her belly, and draw a needle out. And demanded of her how she stabbed, she testified it were your wife's familiar spirit pushed it in. Proctor. Why, she done it herself. Hope you're not taking this for proof, mister. Here now, Mary, how did this puppet come into my house? Mary Warren. Why, I made it in the court, sir, and I gave it to Goody Proctor tonight. Proctor. You stuck that needle in yourself? Hale. May it be. Perhaps that someone conjures you even now to say this? Mary Warren. Conjures me? Why, no, sir. I am entirely myself. I think. I asked Abby. Abby sat beside me when I made it. Proctor, out with you. Danforth. Proctor, you dare not touch the warrant. Proctor, ripping the warrant. Out with you. Danforth, you've ripped the deputy governor's warrant, man. I have 9 men outside. You cannot keep her. The law binds me, John. I cannot budge. Elizabeth, John, I think I must go with them. Proctor, I will bring you home. I'll bring you soon. Elizabeth, oh, John, bring me soon. Elizabeth is taken away, and everyone leaves, but Proctor and Mary warn. Mr. Proctor, very likely they'll let her come home once they're given proper evidence. Proctor, you're coming to court with me, Mary. You will tell it in the court. You will tell the court how the puppet came here and who stuck the needle in. Mary Warren, she'll kill me for saying that. I cannot tell. They'll turn on me. Proctor, my wife will never die for me. Mary Warren, I cannot do it. I cannot. Proctor, make your peace with it. Now hell and heaven grapple on our backs, and our old pretense is ripped away. Make your peace. Peace it is. Providence. And no great change. We are only what we always were, but naked now. Aye, naked. And the wind, God's icy wind will blow. Now that was the end of Act 2. So Act 2 was very short. Act 3, if Act 3 is also short, I'll get through Act 3, and then from there, Act 4 will be left, and I'll read that separately. So, Act 3. Mary Warren's monologue pages. Okay. Paris. Beware this man, Your Excellency. He is mischief. Hail. I think you must hear the girl, sir. She... Danforth. Peace? What would you tell us, Mary Warren? Proctor. She never saw no spirits, sir. Danforth. Never saw no spirits? Paris. They've come to overthrow the court, sir. This man is... Danforth. I pray you, Miss Paris. Do you know, Mr. Proctor, that the entire continuation of the state is in these trials is what the voice of heaven is speaking through the children? Proctor. I know that, sir. Danforth. And you, Mary Warren? How came you cry out people for sending their spirits against you? Mary Warren. It were pretense, sir. Danforth. Ah, and the other girls? They are also pretending? Mary Warren. Aye, sir. Danforth. Indeed. Paris. Excellency, you surely cannot think to let such a vile lie be spread in open court? Danforth. Indeed not. I will understand well a husband's tenderness may drive him to extravagance in defense of a wife. And you certain, mister, that your evidence is the truth? Proctor. It is. Danforth. Now, sir, what is your purpose in so doing? Proctor. Why, I would free my wife, sir. Danforth. I tell you straight, mister. I have seen marvels in this court. I have seen people choked before my eyes by spirits. I have seen them struck by pins and slashed by daggers. I have, until this moment, not the slightest reason to suspect that any children may be deceiving me. Do you understand my meaning? Paris. He's come to overthrow the court, your honor. Proctor. Now remember what the angel Raphael said to the boy Tobias. Do that which is good, and no harm shall come to thee. Mary Warren. Aye. Danforth. Come, man, we wait you. Proctor. You cannot weep, Mary. Remember the angel that he says to the boy? Hold to it, now. There is your rock. This is Mary Warren's disposition. I would ask you to remember, sir, while you read it, that until 2 weeks ago, she were no different than other children are today. You saw her scream in the house. You saw her scream. She howled. She swore familiar spirits choked her, and even testified that Satan, in the form of women now in jail, tried to win her soul away. And when she refused... Danforth. We know all this. Proctor. Aye, sir. She swears now that she never saw Satan, nor any spirit, vague or clear, that Satan may have sent to hurt her, and she declares her friends are lying now. Hail. Exactly. Your Excellency. A moment, I think this goes to the heart of the matter. Danforth. It surely does. In an ordinary crime, how does one defend the accused? One calls up witnesses to prove his innocence. But witchcraft is by nature an invisible crime, is it not? Therefore, who may possibly be witness to it? The witch is the victim. Now, we cannot hope the witch will cause herself. Therefore, we must rely upon our victims, and they do testify. The children certainly do testify. Mary Warren, how came you to this turnabout? Has Mr. Proctor threatened you? Mary Warren, no, sir. Mary Danforth. Danforth. Then you tell me what you sat in my court, calling lying, when you knew that people would hang by your evidence. Answer me. Mary Warren, I did, sir. Danforth, how were you instructed in your life? Do you not know that God damns all liars, or is it now that you lie? Mary Warren, no, sir, I am with God now. Danforth, I will tell you this. You are either lying now or you are lying in the court, and in either case you have committed perjury, and will go to jail for it. You cannot lightly say that. You lied, Mary. Do you know that? Mary Warren, I cannot lie no more. I am with God. I am with God. Enter Abigail and the girls. Danforth, sit down, children. Your friend Mary Warren has given us a deposition in which she swears that she never saw any familiar spirits, apparitions, or any manifestation of the devil. She claims as well that none of you have seen these things either. Now, children, this is a court of law. If she speaks true, I bid you now drop your guile and confess your pretense. For a quick confession, we'll go easier with you, Abigail Williams. Rise. Is there any truth in this? Abigail, no, sir. Danforth, a puppet were discovered in Mr. Proctor's house, stabbed by a needle. Mary Warren claims that you sat beside her when she made it, and that now saw how she herself stuck the needle into for safekeeping. What say you to that? Abigail, it is a lie, sir. Proctor, are you charging Abigail Williams with a marvelous, cool plot to murder? Do you understand that? Proctor, I do, sir. I believe she means to murder. Danforth, this child would murder your wife? Paris, you say you never saw no spirits, Mary, and were never threatened or affected by any manifest of the devil or the devil's agents. Mary Warren, no, sir. Paris, but when people accuse you of witchery, confront you, you would faint, saying their spirits choked you. Proctor, she only pretended to faint, Your Excellency. They're all marvelous pretenders. Paris, then can you faint now? Prove to us how you pretended in the court. Mary Warren, I cannot faint now, sir. I have no sense of it now. Danforth, might it be that here we are no affecting spirit, but in the court there was? Mary Warren, I never saw no spirits, but I cannot do it. Paris, then you will confess that it were spirits that made you faint. Mary Warren, no, sir. I used to faint because I thought I saw spirits, but I did not, Your Honor. I cannot tell you how, but I did. It were only sport in the beginning, sir. But then the whole world cries spirits, and I promise you, Mr. Danforth, I only thought I saw them, but I did not. Paris, surely Your Excellency is not taken by the simple lie? Abigail. Danforth. Abigail, it is possible that these spirits were illusion only. Some deception that may cross your mind. Search in your heart and tell me this. Abigail, I have been hurt, Mr. Danforth. I have been near to murdered every day because I done my duty pointing at the devil's people. There is, face turns Ryan. Apprehensive. What is it, child? Abigail, looking in the air, clasping her arms about her as though cold. I know not. A cold wind has come. Eyes fall on Mary Warren. Proctor, she's pretending. Danforth, Mary Warren, do you witch her? I say you, do you send your spirit out? Abigail, oh, Heavenly Father, take away this shadow. Proctor, how dare you call heaven? Whore, Abigail is a whore. Danforth, dumbfounded, you charge? Proctor, mark her. Now she will suck a scream to stab me with. But, Danforth, you will prove this. Will not pass. Proctor, trembling, his life collapsing about him. I have known her, sir. I have known her. Danforth, she is a leecher? Proctor, she used to serve me in my house, sir. Danforth, and when she puts this girl of your house, she put her out of a harlot? For a harlot? Proctor, aye, sir. Danforth, your wife, you say, is an honest woman. Proctor. In her life, sir, she had never lied. Danforth. Bring her out. Enter Elizabeth. Danforth. Come here, woman. Elizabeth comes to him, glancing at Proctor's back. Only, look at me only, and not your husband. In my eyes only. Elizabeth, faintly. Good, sir. Danforth. We are given to understand that at one time you dismissed your servant Abigail Williams. For what cause did you dismiss her? Elizabeth, not knowing what to say, sensing a situation, wetting her lips to stall for time. She dissatisfied me. Pause. And my husband. Danford. In what way dissatisfied you? Elizabeth. I came to think he fancied her, and one night I lost my wits, I think, and put her on the high road. Danford. Your husband, did he indeed turn from you? Elizabeth, faintly. No, sir. Danforth. Remove her, Marshal. Proctor. Elizabeth, tell the truth. Danforth, she has spoken. Remove her. Proctor, crying out. Elizabeth, I have confessed it. Elizabeth. Oh, God. The door closes behind her. Proctor. She only thought to save my name. Danforth. And she spoke nothing of lechery, and this man had lied. Hale. I believe him. The girl has always struck me false. She has. Abigail, to the rafters. You will not. Begone. Begone, I say. Danforth. What is it, child? But Abigail, pointing in fear, is now rising up her frightened eyes and odd her face around the ceiling. The girls are doing the same. And now Paris and Danforth do the same. What's there? He lowers his eyes from the ceiling and is now frightened. There is a real tension in her voice. Child! She is transfixed with all the girls. She is whispering, open mouth, a gaping at the ceiling. Girls, why do you... Abigail. It's on the beam, behind the rafter. Why? She gulps. Why do you come, yellow bird? Proctor. Where's the bird? I see no bird. Frantically. They're pretending, Mr. Danforth. Abigail. Oh, please, Mary, don't come down. Her claws. She's stretching her claws. Proctor. Lies! Lies! Abigail. Mary, please don't hurt me. Mary Warren. To Danforth. I'm not hurting her. Danforth to Mary Warren. Why does she see this vision? Mary Warren. She sees nothing. Abigail stares at Mary Warren as if hypnotized. She sees nothing. Mary Warren pleading. Abby, you mustn't. Mary Warren interior monologue. Abigail and the girls. Abby, you mustn't. Danforth horrified. Mary Warren, draw back your spirit out of them. Mary Warren. Mr. Danforth. Abigail and the girls, cutting her off. Mr. Danforth. Danforth. Have you compacted with the devil? Have you? Mary Warren. Never, never. Abigail and the girls. Never, never. Danforth. Why can they only repeat you? Mary Warren. They're sporting, they're sporting. Mary Warren, turning on them, stomping her feet. Abby, stop it. Abby and the girls. Abby, stop it. Mary Warren, screaming and raising her fist. Stop it! And girls. Stop it! Danforth. A little while ago you were afflicted. Now it seems you afflict others. Where did you find this power? Mary Warren, staring at Abigail. I have no power. Girls. I have no power. Danforth. You have seen the devil. You made a compact with Lucifer, have you not? Abigail, pointing upwards. The wings! Her wings are spreading! Mary, please! Don't! Danforth. Will you speak? Mary Warren, staring in horror. I cannot, girls. I cannot. Abigail, looking up. Look out, she's coming down! The girls run to one wall, shrieking their eyes. They let out a gigantic scream, and Mary, 2 screams. Proctor strides to her. Proctor. Mary, tell the governor what they... Mary rushes out and reaches screaming in horror. Mary Warren. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Girls hold out the door. Mary points at Proctor. You're the devil's man! Mary Warren, interior monologue. Paris. Praise God, girls. Praise God! Proctor mumbled. How? Mary Warren. I will not hate you. I love God. I love God. Danforth to Mary. He bid you do the devil's work? Mary Warren, hysterically inciting Proctor. He come at me by night and every day. My name. He wants my name. I'll murder you, he says. If my wife hangs, We must go and overthrow the court, he says. Proctor. Mary, Mary! Mary warns, screaming at him. No, I love God. I go your way no more. I love God. I bless God. Danforth to Proctor. I have seen your power. You will not deny it. What say you, mister? Will you confess yourself to being befuddled with hell, or do you keep that black allegiance yet? What do you say, mister? Will you confess yourself befuddled with hell, or do you keep that black allegiance yet? What say you? Proctor. I say, God is dead, laughs insanely. A fire is burning. I hear the boot of Lucifer. I see his filthy face, and it is my face, and yours, Danforth. God damns your kind specifically, and we will burn together. And that is the act of Act 3, and Act 4 is only 3 pages in here, so I'll finish up Act 4, and this will just be the final video here. And there's also nothing here that is highlighted. So, here we go. The Crucible, Act 4. Characters: Danforth, Paris, Reverend Hale, Herrick, Elizabeth Proctor, and John Proctor. In the Salem jail, Herrick is tidying the place, pushing old rags and straw into a corner. Hearing footsteps, he runs and enters Danforth. Herrick. Good morning, Your Excellency. Danforth. Where is Mr. Parrish? Herrick. I'll fetch him. He starts for the door. Danforth Marshal. Herrick stops. Where did Reverend Hale arrive? Herrick. It were toward midnight, I think. Danforth suspiciously. What is about here? Herrick. He goes among them and will hang, sir. And he prays with them. He sits with Goody Nurse now, and Mr. Parris with him. Danforth. Indeed, that man have no authority here. Marshal, why do you let him in? Herrick. Why, Mr. Parris commanded me, sir. I cannot deny him. Danforth. Are you drunk, Marshal? Herrick. No, sir. It is a bitter night, and I have no fire here. Danforth, continuing his anger. Fetch Mr. Parris. Herrick. Aye, sir. Danforth. There's a project of stench in this place. Herrick. I have only now cleared the people out for you. Danforth. Beware hard drink, Marshal. Herrick. Aye, sir. He waits an instant for further orders, but Danforth, in dissatisfaction, turns his back to him, and Herrick goes out. There's a pause. Danforth stands in the twilight. He blows on his hands, moves towards the window, and looks out. Danforth raises his head as Parris enters. He is gammoned, frightened, and sweating in his greatcoat. Parris to Danforth instantly. Oh, good morning, sir. Thank you for coming. I beg your pardon, waking. You're so early. Danforth. Reverend Hale, you have no right to enter the place. Parris. Excellency. For a moment. He shrinks back and shuts the door. Or he hurries back and shuts the door. Danforth. What is your business here? Parris. Prayerfully holding up his hands. Excellency, hear this. It is a problem. Hear me. It is a providence. Reverend Hale has returned to bring Rebecca Nurse to God. Danforth, surprised. He bid her confess? Parris, sitting. Hear me. Rebecca have not given me a word. This 3 months since she came here. Now she sits with him, and his sister, and Martha Corey, and 2 or 3 others, and he pleads with them. Confesses their crimes and saves their lives. Danforth. Why, this is indeed a providence. And they soften? Parris. Not yet. But I thought to summon you, sir. We might think on whether it be wise or not to. He dares not to say it. I have thought to put a question, sir, and I hope you will not. Danforth. Mr. Parris, be plain. What troubles you? Parris. There is news, sir, that the court must reckon with. My niece, I believe she has vanished. I think she boarded a ship. My daughter tells me how she heard them screaming of ships last week. And tonight, I discover my strong box is broke into. Danforth. She have robbed you? Parris. £31 is gone. I am penniless. I would postpone these sayings for a time. Paris interior monologue. Danforth. There is no postponement. Paris. Rebecca will not confess? Hale. The sun will rise in a few minutes. Excellency, I must have more time. Danforth. Now hear me, and bugle like yourselves no more. I will not receive a single plea for pardon or postponement. Have you spoken with them all, Mr. Hale? Hale. All but Proctor. Excellency, if you postpone for a week and publish to the toe that you are striving for their confessions, that speak mercy on your part, not faltering. Danforth. Mr. Hale, as God have not empowered me, like Joshua, to stop his sun from rising, I cannot withhold him from the perfection of punishment. Danforth, interior monologue. Enter Elizabeth. Hale. Goody Proctor. Your husband is marked to hang this morning. Elizabeth. I have heard it. Hale. Will you plead with him? I cannot think he will listen to another. Elizabeth. I think that be the devil's argument. Hale. Woman, before the laws of God, we are as swine. We cannot read his will. Danforth. Will you plead for his confession, or will you not? Elizabeth. I promise nothing. Let me speak with him. Enter Proctor. Proctor. None have confessed? Elizabeth. They may be many confused. Proctor. And Gills? And Gills is dead. He will not answer aye or nay to his indictment, for if he denied the charge, they'd hang him surely. They press him, John. From great stones they lay upon his chest until he plead aye or nay. They say give them but 2 words, more weight, he says, and died. Proctor. I have been thinking I would confess to them, Elizabeth. What say you? If I give them that, what would they have me do? Elizabeth. As you will. I would have. I want you living, John. That's sure. Do what you will, but let none be your judge. There will be no higher judge under heaven or Proctor. That Proctor is. Forgive me, John. I never knew such a goodness in this world. Proctor, to Danforth. I want my life. Danforth. Praise God. You shall be blessed in heaven for this. Now then, let us have it. Did you see the devil? Proctor. I did. Danforth. And you bound yourself to his services? Proctor. I did. Danforth. Mr. Proctor, when the devil came to you, did you see Rebecca nurse in his company? Pause. Come, man, take courage. Did you ever see her with the devil? Proctor. No. Danforth. Did you ever see anyone with the devil? Proctor. I did not. Proctor, you mistake me. I am not empowered to trade your life for a lie. You have most certainty to have seen someone with the devil. Mr. Proctor. A score of people who have already testified they saw this woman with the devil. Proctor. Then it is proved. Why must I say it? Danforth. You must say it. Why, you should rejoice to say it if your soul is truly purged of any love for hell. Proctor. I speak my own sins. I cannot judge another. I have no tongue for it. Hale. Excellency, it is enough he confess. Let him sign it. Let him sign it. Danforth. Come then, sign your testimony. Proctor. You have all witnessed it. It is enough. Danforth. You will not sign it? Proctor. The village must have proof that. Proctor. I have confessed myself. Is there no good penance but it to be public? God does not need my name nailed upon the church. God sees my name. God knows how black my sins are. It is enough. Danforth. Mr. Proctor. I must have good and legal proof that you. Proctor. You are the high court. Your word is good enough. Tell them I confess myself. Say Proctor broke to his knees and wept like a woman. Say what you will, but my name cannot. Danforth. Explain to me, Mr. Proctor, why you will not let. Proctor. Because it is my name. Because I cannot live with another in my life. Because I lie and sign myself to lies. Because I am not worth the dust on the feet them that hang. How many I live without my name. I have given you my soul. Leave me my name. Danforth. Is that document a lie? If it is a lie, I will not accept it. You will give me your honest confession in my hand, or I cannot keep you from the rope. Which way do you go, mister? Hale. Man, you will hang. You cannot. Hale. I can. And there's your first marvel that I can. You have made your magic now. For now I do think I see some shred of goodness in John Proctor. Not enough to weave a banner with, but wide enough to keep it from such dogs. Give them no tear. Give them no tear. Tears pleasure them. Show honor. Now, show a stony heart and sink with them at it. Danforth. Hang them high over the town. Who weeps for these weeps for corruption. Hale. Go to him, Moody Proctor. There is yet time, woman. Plead with him, woman. It is pride, it is vanity. Be his helper. What profit him to bleed? Shall the dust praise him? Shall the worms declare his truth? Go to him. Take his shame away. Elizabeth. He have goodness now. God forbid I take it from him. And that is the end of the Crucible. I'm sorry that the first video was very long. This one's like 20 minutes shorter, which isn't much better. But it was a long story. I hope you enjoyed it. There is, I believe, a movie on it. So if you want to watch that, that's something separate you can do. And I hope you enjoyed.